South Africa is once again on fire with political drama, and this time, it's not just about corruption, not about elections, but about pure betrayal at the heart of the new opposition giant. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party, once hailed as the revolutionary voice of the forgotten, is now tearing itself apart from within. Dr. John Hlophe, the fiery former judge and now MK Party deputy president, has just thrown down the gauntlet against none other than Jacob Zuma himself. Yes, Zuma, the founder, the face, the symbol of this movement, is now being challenged by his own right-hand man. Can you believe that? In a blistering act of defiance that's already gone viral across social media, Hlophe has said he doesn't want Zuma's so-called precautionary suspension.
No.
He wants his membership completely terminated.
Why?
Because, in his own words, he refuses to be humiliated by a man who once claimed to stand against political arrogance. Do you think he's right to stand up to Zuma like this, or has power finally gone to his head? Drop your thoughts below. Let's rewind a bit. This whole chaos began when Zuma was away in West Africa, reportedly having high-level talks with Burkina Faso's transitional leader Ibrahim Traoré, a meeting that was supposed to position Zuma as a continental statesman once again. But while Zuma was smiling for cameras in Ouagadougou, back home in Parliament, Dr. Hlophe made a move that would shake the MK party to its core. Without consulting the party leadership, without any discussion, Hlophe reshuffled the parliamentary structure. He removed Chief Whip Colleen McCubely and replaced her with none other than former Finance Minister Des Van Rooyen. That's right, the same Des Van Rooyen, once known as Weekend Special during Zuma's presidency because he lasted only 4 days in office. It was a bold and shocking move, one that suggested Hlophe was tightening his grip on the party's parliamentary power. But the reshuffle lasted less than 24 hours. The moment Zuma landed back in South Africa, all hell broke loose. Reports say Zuma was furious, not just angry but personally insulted. He called an emergency meeting of national officials, declared Hlophe's actions ill-disciplined, and reversed every single one of his decisions. Within hours, McCubely was reinstated, Van Rooyen was out, and Hlophe was suspended from all leadership duties pending a full investigation. The so-called collective leadership had spoken. The party's statement, released by Magaseela Mzobi, Zuma's loyal head of the presidency, was stern, emotionless, and cold. It said the suspension was painful yet necessary to protect the principles of collective decision-making. But between the lines, everyone could read the real message. Zuma was putting Hlophe in his place. But Hlophe wasn't going down quietly. In fact, he hit back harder than anyone expected. In a scathing response circulating across WhatsApp groups and X, Hlophe accused Zuma of humiliating him publicly. He said he would rather be expelled from the party completely than live under the shadow of precautionary punishment. He called it degrading and politically manipulative. In essence, Hlophe turned the suspension into a rebellion. This battle has exposed the deepest cracks within the MK party, the same cracks many political observers predicted months ago. After all, how do you unite a movement built on personalities who were once rivals, rebels, and castaways from the ANC? How do you manage a party where almost every top leader thinks they are the next big revolutionary? It's a question the MK party is now being forced to answer. For those who remember, John Hlophe is no stranger to controversy. He was impeached in 2024 as South Africa's first-ever judge to be removed in the democratic era. His crime? Trying to influence constitutional court judges in favor of Jacob Zuma during Zuma's corruption cases. It was a scandal that ended his judicial career and made him a pariah in legal circles. But in Zuma's eyes, that act of loyalty earned Hlophe a place in his new political home. When the MK party brought him in early 2025, many saw it as a masterstroke, the union of a legal brain and a political firebrand. Hlophe's appointment as deputy president was interpreted as a sign that Zuma trusted him completely. They shared history, ideology, and defiance against the same establishment. But now, that alliance has crumbled, and the trust has evaporated. Hlophe's defiance also raises another question. Is this about principle or power? Some insiders whisper that Hlophe's reshuffle wasn't just about discipline, but about control. As leader of the MK caucus in parliament, he wielded real influence over who spoke, who sat where, and who got exposure. Replacing Makubele with Van Rooyen wasn't random. It was a calculated move to build his own loyal bloc. But Zuma saw it as a coup in slow motion. Remember, this isn't the first time Zuma has dealt with internal revolts. During his time in the ANC, he faced endless factional wars, and many of the same patterns are emerging in the MK party. The old Zuma style of leadership, centralized, loyalist-driven, and unyielding, is now clashing with ambitious figures like Hlophe, who want autonomy. It's déjà vu all over again, but this time inside a party that promised to do things differently. What's even more interesting is the role of Tony Yengeni, Zuma's recent appointee as second deputy president of the party. Analysts say Zuma brought Yengeni in precisely to balance Hlophe's growing influence, and it seems that move worked. When the crisis broke, Yengeni stood firmly behind Zuma. It's almost as if Zuma saw this coming. Meanwhile, within MK ranks, tension is boiling. Some members feel Zuma has become authoritarian, shutting down dissent in the same way the ANC once silenced him. Others believe Hlophe is reckless, self-serving, and deliberately testing Zuma's patience. The party's unity, once its biggest selling point, is now hanging by a thread. The social media war has only made things worse. Hashtags like #Hlophe vs Zuma and #MK Civil War are trending, with supporters from both camps posting leaked voice notes, videos, and cryptic statements. The public, once united behind Zuma's anti-establishment message, now sees a party that can't even manage its own leaders. It's a brutal irony. The MK party was born out of Zuma's rebellion against the ANC. Now the rebellion has come for him. How does a man who built his legacy on defying authority handle defiance from within his own camp? Do you think Zuma will expel Hlophe, or will he find a way to reconcile once again, just like he always has in politics? Some political commentators warn that this could mark the beginning of the MK party's downfall before it even reaches its full potential. Others argue it's just a test, a necessary moment to separate the loyal from the ambitious. But the damage to public perception is undeniable. So, here's a question for you, my viewers. Do you think Dr. John Hlophe's rebellion is an act of courage or political suicide? Was Zuma right to suspend him? Or did he just expose his own insecurity? Let me know what you think in the comments. And tell me, who do you believe is the real leader of the MK party now? Because one thing is clear. The movement that once called itself the hope of the oppressed is now being consumed by the same hunger for power it promised to destroy. And if this civil war continues, the only question left to ask will be, who will survive Jacob Zuma's revolution this time?